Feeling optimistic can be hard when our society seems to be stuck in patterns that produce depletion, injustice and crisis. Social imagination is a rallying cry for hope. It is the art of imagining otherwise together, because if we can't first imagine a transformed world, how can we make it? Social scientists have used the word imaginary as a noun. That means a thing, to describe the set of values, beliefs, institutions, laws and symbols through which people imagine their reality. We know that there isn't just one reality, because groups of people from different places and moments in history have understood how the world works very differently. These different perspectives are maintained in the collective imagination of the group which holds them. This is the imaginary by which they make sense of the world and decide what can be done and by whom. The imaginaries we currently operate from are part of what keeps us stuck, reproducing social inequalities and environmental depletion. We know these things are wrong, but our efforts to transform them using those stuck imaginaries will inevitably fall short of our ambition for change. These imaginaries are like the soil from which our actions and aspirations can grow. Often, we don't know what's under the surface, shaping our thinking about what is possible for us and our communities. Perhaps the soil is low in minerals, preventing certain plants or ideas from growing. Perhaps it is high in microbes and fungal networks, helpfully breaking redundant ideas down and connecting different imaginaries to each other, making space and offering nutrients for new ideas to grow. If the soil is good, with imaginary diversity and commitment to change, then a great plurality of plant and animal life can grow from it, coexist, become interdependent, and create nourishing spaces for still more. So too with growing new ideas for different, vibrant futures. Part of growing the ecology of possibilities is to examine the soil, to notice in our institutions, systems, and even ourselves the imaginaries which dominate, who they privilege and who they exclude, how they shape and limit what we imagine to be possible in the future. Part of growing the ecology of possibilities is to welcome imaginaries we don't understand yet, to stay curious and open to intelligence from beyond our familiar culture. Imagination practice can support leaders, communities and activists to notice the soil, to nourish it and grow the conditions which enable new imaginations of the future to sprout and take root. The forest itself is the collection of new imagined futures we can make happen. A healthy forest isn't just one kind of tree or a single type of future, but a plurality of futures which reflect the diversity and health of the soil they grow from. Imagination practice is the method we use to bring people together, to imagine something new. We work with our imaginations to get free of those limiting imaginaries and to grow our confidence to hope for something better. The seeds of these new possibilities are already there, but perhaps hidden, forgotten or shy. Imagination practice is like the sunlight. It helps us notice the shape and size of what we can imagine now, the gaps in the forest and the seeds lying dormant. Imagination practice is like the rain, causing seeds to swell, germinate and shoot up. Imagination practice gently opens up a playful space to experiment and dream, enabling us to grow beyond what's currently possible, stretching into the sky, finding space we didn't know was there, bringing our dreams into reality. Just like a forest, the new growth of a healthy and diverse social imagination is not easily untangled. Some emerges below ground and some above, feeding each other. In the soil, we see new models of leadership which release and invest in the imaginations of the public, resourcing marginalised communities to challenge the imaginaries which oppress them. In the soil, we see a growing community of imagination practitioners building the impetus for change from the ground up. From the soil, we hear unexpected stories and narratives being whispered and sung, anchoring us to hopeful futures and disrupting the narratives which have limited us. With that healthy soil and the right weather conditions, the forest expands. There are more and more places that can support life in all its diversity, releasing the fullness of expression of people of every identity and wild beings of all sorts too. In the forest, we see increased visibility and respect for expressions of community led by the global majority. In the forest, we see the disabled community given space and agency to participate and lead in their communities and workplaces. In the forest, we see those tied into cycles of poverty given the chance to imagine and lead futures which are secure. Trickles of hope grow stronger and more becomes possible collectively. People who join in with imagination work benefit as individuals. They grow a revived sense of their own creativity, which flows into many areas of life. They grow their capacity to work with others to make something new happen. They grow their ability to hold difference and work through conflict. They grow new connections and relationships which build their sense of belonging within the community of people and with the wild community. They experience improvements in mental health because they have felt and witnessed their own creative possibilities and had them appreciated by others. This is how we understand that growing social imagination, the ecology of possible futures, happens. With imagination practice, we nourish the soil and support the forest to grow, and we experience new life at every level of society.